Hello and welcome. I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today I'm going to be bringing you a review that comes by request. I've had a lot of you guys ask me if I'm getting this figure, if I got this figure, if I do, am I going to review it? So I'm doing a review of Transformers Combiner Wars Onslaught, and I love this toy. You guys will remember that I told you I was at that toy show recently, and I found that somebody was selling him for about, he's actually selling them for over $50, more than double the retail. And I told you guys that I passed on it. I was just going to be patient, and sure, I was going to be able to find it. Had no doubt that I was going to find it at retail very shortly after. And sure enough, 4 days later, that following Thursday, I found this guy at Target for regular retail, $25. So, yeah, patience paid off. This guy was released in February of 2016. So he's still hitting stores right now as of the time of this recording. Like I said, I found this guy at a Target, and he's retailing for $25. Here in vehicle mode, he's approximately 8 inches long. He's about 3 inches tall, and he is a modified sort of a military gun truck. It's a little bit of a step away from what he originally was, where he had the big cannons on the back, and sort of like a flatbed truck. This one takes a little more of a creative license, but I really, really like what they've done with the truck here. Now, he's obviously a heavy retool of Combiner Wars Hotspot, which we saw earlier, so we'll bring this guy in. And yeah, I really like what they've done here, where they've taken two really pretty much identical vehicles and done a lot of dressing up and a lot of retooling to make them completely different. So basically what they did was this. They just flipped them around. They took the front of the fire truck and they made it the back of the military truck, and then they added some windows here and like a little cockpit maybe where your drivers can sit. Of course, the whole top pieces of the truck here, they're completely changed. So yeah, these vehicles and these molds do a really, really good job of looking completely different. And the same is true for both the robot and the combined mode, which we're going to get into later. I'm looking a little closer at the truck here. Like I mentioned, he's like a military style truck, just kind of like a gun truck. I really like the front there where he's got like these two individual cockpits. Reminds me a lot of my time in the tank division when I was in Korea. You see a lot of armored vehicles have stuff like this. So this looks like an armored vehicle would look, which is really cool. Black wheels, but of course with military vehicles, that's fine. They don't really have chrome wheels on military vehicles, so I'm okay with that. A little bit of a gap there. If you look right at it like we're doing now, it's very obvious, and a lot of people would have issue with that. But normally, in the normal setting, as you have it done on the table, it's really not that protruding. I don't think it really doesn't show off that much, so I think it covers it well. Same goes for the head. Obviously, we've got the combined mode head sticking up right there. But again, it does a very good job of hiding it away, and it just kind of looks like a fan and a couple of antennas there, like you would see on a military vehicle. You still have the blink lights up here like you had on the fire truck. Those remain, but I like that they painted them purple. It just kind of helps to blend in. The back here is a little hollow. There's not a whole lot going on back here. I don't know if they could have done anything to improve on that or not. The feet are just kind of sitting up here. We're going to see those later in robot mode. But there they are. Not terrible. I like this truck mode a lot. Again, I was in transportation in the military. I've driven and I have trained people to drive a lot of different army trucks and armored vehicles and all sorts of weird and cool vehicles. So this really, to me, looks like something that would fall in line some of the stuff that I've driven in my past. So I really dig it a lot. Very, very cool. Real quick, we saw the comparison with Hotspot, but since he is the leader of the Combaticons and we're going to be seeing him later combined, why don't we go ahead and take a look at him next to the rest of his team. So here's the rest of the Combaticons right here. And are we going to be able to fit all of them? Let's do this. There we go. So there he is with the rest of his team right there. So you can see what these guys all look like together. They make a very good team. I really, really love the way this team came out. I'm really happy with it. Even with Blastoff, which at first I wasn't crazy about the idea of this guy being a jet, because from the beginning, from the very first combiner that we got, back when we got the Superion combiners, and we got that Alpha Bravo, that helicopter, when you look at the body of this helicopter, to me, I see a shuttle here. And I would really love to see somebody make a shuttle out of this. If you get rid of the propellers here and you get rid of this tail, you can make this whole back piece that elevates here. You can make a whole new back piece here with the tail fin and maybe some folding wings, and then you'd have yourself a shuttle. I think it would be relatively easy to make that happen. And of course, you've got the tips of the cockpit here that fold up to become the feet. So I don't know. I think this would be very easy to turn into a shuttle. And I really, really thought that's what they were going to do with Blastoff. Instead, they made him a jet. But you know what? I didn't think I was going to like this, but he works. I think he really, really works. So I was actually pretty happy with that. But enough about Blastoff. This review is about Onslaught and about Bruticus. So let's get into the transformation. So getting into the transformation, I'm going to go ahead and take these guns. You don't have to take the guns off, but just so that we can see it clearly in the video, I'm going to go ahead and do so. And I really love the transformation on this guy. Let's see, where do I want to start? I'm going to start back here with the legs. So we're going to want to extend the legs out. Well, go ahead and take the back of the truck and split it apart. The whole thing is just going to split apart just like so. And then the legs are going to be, they're on the double hinge right in here. So you're just going to go ahead and extend these guys out. Now, I'm sure you've seen this already. There is a double hinge in there. I'll try to get the light in there as best as possible. So what you want is that you want this black hinge here pointing out at you, and this green hinge here pointing out front towards the knee. So it's going to kind of create like an L shape, just like so. And when you do that, that's going to allow the knees to lock into place just like so. That took a minute to figure out with Hotspot. And a lot of people were having issues with the knees, and once this was discovered, then all those problems went away. So that locks into place. And real quick, just so you're aware, this guy does come packaged with the knees extended out like so. So if you try to stand him up, you're going to have problems. So just keep that in mind if you get them, that you're going to want to bend those in an L shape just like that and lock those knees in place. Then go ahead and turn the legs at the top of the thigh right there. Turn them all the way around. Grab these top pieces here. Flip these down. These are going to be the feet. Come to the back, reach in there, and get the heel spurs out, and the bottom of your robot is pretty much done. And we're going to have to adjust our camera. We are going to get very, very tall with this guy. So, let's see. Go ahead and take these wings and pull them up, just like so. And that's going to get them out of the way so that you can take the front of the truck here, split it in half, and fold it all the way down to the side. Rotate these guys so these green panels are facing forward. And then go ahead and take these panels and fold them up. That's going to release the forearms so that the forearms can come down just like so. Take these little panels. You're going to see a little tab and slot right there. So fold those guys in. Click them into place just like so. Let's see. The back here, you can leave it like as is. I kind of like to bring these wings up a little bit just to get them out of the way. And this is a good time to take the guns. And the guns have these... Actually, let's wait on the guns because I want to show you the guns on the hands first. And then we'll do the weapons. Finally, we're going to take the chest right here. Open the chest up. Reach in here for the head. Bring the head up and close the chest back up. I'll tell you what. I'm going to do this anyway. The guns have these pegs on the side right there. So you see these holes on the side here. We'll peg these guys one on each side. And there is Onslaught in robot mode. All right. Here in robot mode, Onslaught is approximately 7 inches tall at the top of the head. 8 if you want to go to the top of the cannons right here. And I decided to go ahead and just put the cannons up here so we can see what he looks like originally. He's meant to have... Onslaught always had the cannons on his back right there. So I decided to just go ahead and put him in there so we can get a nice good shot of him like that. Yeah, I really like the way this guy looks. He looks just like, he looks very G1 to me. The colors are spot on, just the teals with the greens and the light hints of purple with the dark grays. I get really a very G1 feeling from this guy, and I absolutely love it. The details are absolutely awesome. I love all the silver detail right here on the chest. You got a nice Decepticon symbol right there. Bringing him in close so you can see his face. Again, very Onslaught, very characteristic of him. Yeah, very good looking robot. Not a lot of kibble hanging out. You got a little bit on the backpack there, which is to be expected if you know what's coming because of the combiner mode. And then again, you've got these guns back here. And you can pull one out, you can pull them both out, whatever you want. And you can give them to him so he can hold in his hand if you want. But again, me personally, I prefer the look of Onslaught's guns on his back because that's just the way the G1 had it. As far as articulation goes, you got a swivel on the head. You can rotate the head. You've got universal, you got a ratchet right here on the shoulder so you can go all the way around. And then you've got an in and out right there at the bottom of the shoulder. You got a rotation at the elbow. You have a bend at the, this is kind of weird. The elbows on this guy are kind of weird because you have this bend up here at the bicep. And then you've got a bend at the actual elbow there. And that's because of the combination transformation, which we're going to see later. Nothing at the wrist, unfortunately. You have nothing at the waist. You do have a universal ratchet joint at the hip. So you got in and out, and you got forward and backwards, full range of movement. You got a rotation at the thigh. You got a nice bend at the knee. Due to transformation, it's further than a 90. And that's going to be about it. You don't really tilt. Once you bring the feet down, they kind of lock into place. So you're not really going to tilt those down. So, yeah, there he is. Onslaught. Absolutely love this guy. The ratchets are kind of tight. It does take some doing, at least on my copy. It takes a little bit of doing to get his leg straight. But there he is. And then for comparison, here he is next to his mold mate, Hotspot. And this is probably the one form that they're going to look the most alike in. You can see a lot of similarities in the shoulders. You can see a lot of similarities and just in the body in general. The head's different and the feet are different and the backpack's different. Other than that, a lot of similarities. But the different heads, the different feet, and the paint jobs, I think, do a pretty good job of helping these guys to differentiate them and to help them look different from each other. Even the chest piece here is actually more different. It works the same way, and it looks very similar, but they are completely different chest pieces. So I think they did a pretty good job at making these two guys look like two completely different toys, or two characters at least. And then one last shot, we'll have him standing next to the rest of the Combaticon team, just so you can see what these guys all look like together. And I don't know why I keep shifting to my right. I don't know what's going on with me today. My equilibrium must be off. So anyway, there he is with the rest of the Combaticon team. So you can see what these guys look like all together. So we'll get these guys out of the shot. And I'm knocking stuff over. Here we go. All right, so here is one last shot at Onslaught in robot mode. And we'll get into the transformation for the combination into Bruticus. So let's start, let's see, we'll start down here with the legs. And what we're going to do is first take the heel spurs and just fold them all the way back in the way they were. Turn the legs out and away from each other. And we're going to bend them back up almost as if we were going to take it back into his truck mode. Now there are, do I have it the right way? Or, yep, I got it the right way. So there are these tabs right here at the side of his thighs, right there. A little tab there, and there is a little slot right there on the inside of the truck piece. So those are going to slot in together. So bring this out, and just bring those up in there so that they slot in. And that is going to secure that in place. And we've got the legs pretty much done, ready to go. Let's see. Go ahead and open up the chest, put the head away, which we've probably done that first. And let's see. Take the arms and turn them so that the green pieces are facing up towards where the head was. Let's see. Go ahead and bring the forearms, bend them over. This is where that double hinge on the bicep and the elbow is going to come into place. And we're going to tab the side of the forearm right here into the top of the shoulder tab right there. So just tab those in place, just like so. And I'm not finding it. Where's the tab? Why am I missing the tab? There it is. Okay. Nope, still not there. What's going on here? Oh, I've got it turned. That's why. There we go. Now that's tabbed in correctly. That's better. Let's see. Take the chest piece right here. Spin this around. This little pointy part right here. This is on a double hinge here and there, so this is gonna stretch all the way out. You're gonna turn it at that hinge right there and bring it all the way down, and that's gonna form his crotch piece right there. Leave these wings facing forward like so. Right here on the sides where these the canopies or the cockpits were for the drivers, these are going to pop up one more time, and then there's another hinge they're going to pop out onto, and you're just going to bring them back all the way just like so. So bring these guys all the way back, straighten that arm out, snap that into place, and then bring these guys all the way out just like so. And then finally we're going to bring this cannon emplacement all the way back. That's going to reveal Bruticus' head. These guys are going to snap in. You see 2 tabs there. There's 2 slots right there at the top of the neck. The base of the neck, snap those in place, and these guys, this is on a double hinge, so it's going to come all the way down, and then you can rotate the guns up and over and have them facing straight up, just like so, and Bruticus is now ready to combine. These wings, you're going to leave them facing forward for the time being. So here we have Onslaught ready to combine into Bruticus, so we'll start bringing in the rest of the Combaticons, and you've seen these combinations before, be it on Hotspot, which I reviewed earlier, or on some of the other combiners that I've done. These are the exact same combiner slots, and if you watch my Hotspot review, or my Defensor review rather, it's the exact same. The combination on this guy is going to be the exact same, at least for the legs. For the top of the shoulders here now, we're going to do something a little different, and I'm going to have to point the camera up some because this guy got really, really tall. Okay, so now, normally our slots for the combiner ports are pointing straight up. Here on Bruticus, they're pointing straight forward. That's why you're going to want these wings pointed forward for the combination here. So we'll go ahead and bring in Blast Off. We'll bring in Vortex, get those guys in there. Now, once you guys get these guys in, now you're going to bring the wings out or back out towards the sides. There is a tab and a slot right there. So these guys are going to snap right into place just like so. Let's get them standing straight. And there is Combiner Wars Bruticus in his combined robot mode. Let me get him all backed up and try and get the camera lined up on him so we can see him. There we go. That's better. Now we can see Bruticus in all his glory. Check him out. He looks so awesome. Here in combined mode, Bruticus is approximately 11 inches tall. And just check him out. He looks so, so good. And you can see what I meant about Blastoff. Even though he's a jet now, he still just blends in there just fine. And he looks fantastic. This is a great, great Bruticus figure. I really like this a lot. For articulation, you've got a rotation at the head, and actually I think the head might be on a ball joint because you've got an up and down, a little bit of an up and down, and you got side to side, and you got a little bit of a tilt. So I think that's on a ball joint. And then you've got your ratchets on the combination ports, so your shoulders can rotate, and then you can also go in and out with those. The waist swivel for these guys is going to become like an elbow or a bicep swivel rather, and then the regular robot knees become this guy's elbow. You've got a rotation at the wrist because the arms are pegged in, and you can bring your fingers in and out as well as move your thumb in and out, and you've also got an up and down so you can do a thumbs up with them. The legs are the same as Onslaught's legs, so you got ratchet joints here, so you can go forward and backwards, you can go in and out. Again, the combiner port knees are going to be a swivel, and they're going to be a bend at the knee, and then you've also got a swivel at the ankles because those are pegged in. So there he is. I think he looks so good. Just check him out. I've been really, really excited. This is probably the one that I've been the most excited about was Bruticus. I don't know, probably because he's the one G1 combiner that I never had and I still don't have, which is why you haven't seen a G1 comparison in this review. I don't actually have a G1 Bruticus. I have a Ruination from Robots in Disguise back in 2001, which was the same mold, but the colors are all different. So I don't count him as a G1 combiner. I really do want to get a Bruticus combiner. But there you go. I love this guy so much. I really do. I know there's a lot of point of contention that people have had with him, but honestly, I just love him. This is probably my favorite one so far. Here he is compared to Defensor, which is his kind of his mold brother. So you can see what these guys look like side by side. And again, one more time, they are the same mold, and even though they are the same mold, they do a very, very good job at looking like two completely different characters. And just to differentiate them a little bit, I'm going to turn this guy. I typically don't turn Vortex's a tail fin, but in this case, I'm going to turn it just to differentiate them a little bit. So there you go. Again, very good job at making these guys look like two completely different things. There are 3 figures here that share a mold, albeit they're retools of each other. Well, 2 of them are retools, 1 of them is a repaint. And I'm talking about Vortex here and Blades. These guys are a repaint of each other. And then, of course, you got Onslaught and Hotspot. Those guys are retools of each other. And then you've got Swindle and, oh my, I forgot this guy's name, but new guy over here with the Protectobots. This guy is the same mold. It's a retooled mold of Swindle. So still, even with that, these guys do a very good job at looking like 2 completely different combiners, 2 completely different robots, completely different characters. So yeah, I know that a lot of people have issue with the whole repaint and retool thing. But you know, you kind of, I really don't see that big of an issue with it. Maybe it's because I grew up with it from the G1 days. Something's going on here. This arm piece is just not going in. There it goes. Maybe it's because I grew up with it back in the G1 days. We got so many repaints back in G1. You're talking about the Seeker mold. We got 6 of those. The Nissan brothers, Prowl and Sunstreaker and Blue, not Sunstreaker, Blue Streak rather. Those were all repaints of each other. You know, we got so many repaints back in G1 that when I see this, it really doesn't bother me that much because I'm used to it back from G1. Not only that, but they do put effort into retooling the molds and changing out the heads and giving them good paint jobs. And they do put an effort into making them look like different characters. So the whole retool and repaint thing doesn't bother me all that much. As you can see here, I think they really do a good job at looking like different toys. So there it is. That one more time, one last look with Defensor. We'll set him aside. And just for fun, I brought a special guest star here today. Here we have War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, Bruticus that we got a couple of years ago, so we can see what these guys look like together. There you go. And obviously, you know, we wouldn't have this today without this. So this was great for its time. It was great for what it was. It paved the way for what we have now. But what we have now is an obvious, great improvement over what we had before. So War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, Bruticus, we thank you. And so there it is. I still would like to see a Vortex in color that's not red because I know they call him kind of the Skittle, that he looks like Skittles, and I can't argue with that. But I don't mind the colors, all the bright colors on this guy as much. But that red Vortex just that really just throws me off. I really would like a Vortex in a different color. But anyway, there it is. There goes that Bruticus, and back to this Bruticus. This guy looks awesome. Guys, if you're into Combiner Wars, actually, you know what? Even if you're not in the Combiner Wars, if you're like a fan of G1, but you have not really been a fan of Combiner Wars, I'm here to tell you, this is so far my favorite one of these combiners. If you're going to look at just one of the sets from Combiner Wars, check this one out. I think this one is the one that does the best job at reliving kind of like the G1 thing. This one and Superion is very close by. I think this and Superion are probably the best 2 so far, but this one so far is my absolute favorite. I really, really love this guy. So I think with that, we're pretty much done with Transformers Combiner Wars Onslaught. What did you think of this set, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.